Well, there have been questions about leftover vaccine doses. Yesterday, the state site at Regency Square Mall had more than a dozen left after closing time. According to the Centers for Disease Control, health facilities should report any unused or spoiled COVID-19 vaccines. But it's unclear whether Florida health officials are tracking how many get thrown away. News 4 Jax reporter Kelly Wiley has learned if workers can't use the doses, they have to be tossed at the end of the day. She's joining us live from Regency. Kelly.
Right, and health officials in Jacksonville tell me this is not an uncommon occurrence. There's a balance of trying to make sure there's appointments for every vaccine that they've thought out for the day, and also having a backup plan if people don't show up. In Jacksonville, lines of frontline workers and people over 65 hoping to get a coronavirus vaccine stay short. And the lines move quick as state workers weed out those without appointments, like Robert and Geraldine Krennick, who traveled from Fernandina Beach in hopes of getting a shot.
We had called for an appointment, but no one had called us back in the last 2 days, so we were just hoping that as a walk-in that maybe they would take us since the line is not real long.
At the end of the day, state-run vaccine clinics and hospitals are facing a different dilemma. Surpluses of thought-out vaccines they don't want to waste. As of Thursday, state workers vaccinated more than 2,000 people with appointments at Regency Square Mall. After 5 o'clock Thursday, state workers scrambled to find people in the parking lot to vaccinate with the more than a dozen leftover doses they needed to administer. UF Health epidemiologist Chad Nielsen says it's a common dilemma in health institutions across the country,
where maybe somebody has to miss their vaccine appointment because they're in surgery or they're otherwise tied up with a patient. And so we will still hold that dose for them if they can make it. And then if they can, we literally go ask somebody, hey, have you had the vaccine yet or not? They say no, and we bring them in.
Health officials are faced with choosing whether to find someone to give the dose, even if they don't fit the age requirement, or potentially throw it out.
Once they've been out at that certain temperature for a certain amount of time, that's it. It spoils, and the vaccine actually kind of falls apart internally. We do have sort of a waiting list. If people miss an appointment for some reason, we have the ability to pull from a waiting list and pull other people in. If it's using it on someone else or wasting it, use it.
And I do want to point out that the workers at the site were working to find people to give those shots that they have left over. We did reach out to the local health department and to the state to see if they were able to do that. And we're also trying to figure out how many vaccines they've had over this period of time that they've been doing the clinics left over, and how they've tried to overcome that and make sure they use them all up. The CDC does require health institutions to track any of these unused or spoiled doses of the vaccines, but it's unclear if Florida is doing that. We know they have the Florida Shots program where they have to report to the state any vaccines that they administer each day, and we're waiting to hear back if that also includes any that were left over, spoiled, or unused. Reporting live in Jacksonville, Kelly Wiley, Channel 4, the local station.